Hello, everybody. This is Chuck Carnevale, co-founder of FastGraphs, the fundamentals analyzer software tool, aka Mr. Valuation. I've got a very interesting video for everybody today. I'm going to talk about why would you buy the overvalued stock that has exactly the same or very close to exactly the same long-term opportunity to grow when you can buy an undervalued stock with the same or even a better opportunity to grow. Why pick the overvalued stock? And then later in the video, I'm going to end the video by going through a group of overvalued stocks to show the perils of investing in overvalued stocks and how eventually stocks do revert to the mean. So let's go ahead and go to FastGraphs and move quickly into the portfolio or into the stocks that I'm going to be comparing. The first one I want to compare is Visa. Now, arguably, Visa is a very great transaction and payment processing company, one of the premier companies. The company's earnings growth, going back to September of 2013, they have a September fiscal year, has been about 16% growth. The market is valuing this business at almost a 31 PE, and it has an earnings yield of only 3.25%. In other words, if you owned 100% of the company and they paid you a dividend of 100% of their profits, your yield would be 3%. Okay, so that's Visa. All right, great company, very consistent earnings growth, as you can see. Great dividend record. They've increased their dividend every year, as you can see by the gold line. But what you also see is that the market has put a very premium valuation. So you have to pay $31 to buy a dollar's worth of this company's earnings. And when you look at the future expectations of them to grow earnings by about 12%. Okay, so if the stock ended up trading at, say, a 15 PE, which is what a 12% grower ought to really be valued at, you could lose up to 20% of your money annually. You could turn $10,000 into $6,000 plus dividends about $6,300 and change. Okay. In contrast, you can buy another company, one that doesn't even pay a dividend, Fiserv, that's also in the transaction processing company. And if you look at this company in 15 years, it's actually grown at 17%. Now, I want you to note that it was overvalued as recently as just earlier this year. The fundamentals have continued to grow, but yet the business has fallen dramatically. Now, the trick here would be, let's look at why the price has fallen so much and Visa's hasn't. But we've actually got more historical growth here. And interestingly enough, we've got 16% estimated growth. And you can buy this stock with a 7% earnings yield, more than twice what you could get for Visa. You don't get any dividend, but you get an opportunity, even at a 16 PE ratio, of earning 24% a year annualized. At a PE ratio of 14.7, close to 15, you would still make over 18% a year. So my question is, why buy Visa that's growing at a slower rate than Fiserv? And both of these are extremely high quality companies, obviously. But why would you buy the first one? Just because it's more popular? But eventually, as I'll show you later in this video, valuation catches up to companies. Because if I go back to Visa for a moment, I do want to show you something about this stock. I invested in this stock years ago, and I bought it when it was trading at a reasonable valuation, and I sold it up in here somewhere. I don't remember the exact date, and I did leave money on the table currently. And stock prices can stay overvalued for a long period of time, as we see here with Visa. And by the way, we also saw that when we looked at Fiserv. Fiserv was a stock that the market was actually putting a premium valuation on for a long time. Then we went through this period where the stock got too overvalued and we made no money in it for years. And then it got hot again, and now it's back to undervalued and offers a better opportunity today, in my opinion, than buying Visa. Now, these are two companies in the same industry. Let's look at a couple of companies in different industries, but both pretty well-known brands. So let's start by looking at Federal Express. Now, somewhat cyclical. I'm going to go back to the 15-year period here because I'm trying to find a period where it starts in value. Had a 9.5% growth rate. I'm going to compare that to McDonald's, the food franchise company that also was pretty close to fairly valued, but is now trading at a ridiculously high valuation, in my opinion. When I look at the growth potential, McDonald's is expected to grow at 8% a year. When I look at FedEx is expected to grow at 10% a year. but I get an earnings yield of almost 8%. I can buy it at a 12 multiple, so a 15 multiple would give me a 19 or 20% rate of return. In McDonald's, which is, in my opinion, hyped overvalued, I'm getting 2% less growth, and I can stand to lose 11% annualized of my money. I can turn 10,000 into 7,000 over the next 2.25, 2.5 years. Why buy McDonald's when I can buy FedEx? And then let's look at some more conservative stocks. Let's look at two companies in the utility sector, going back to similar industries again. Let's look at American Electric Power Company, and here we see a utility that's grown about 5.5% a year. Let's compare that to Eversource, another utility that's grown about 5.8% a year. And look how overvalued it was. And look how once a stock gets really overvalued, how the performance really does nothing. And that's even before the market crashes. And this is a higher yielding stock that paid a very good dividend during this period of time, but you still made less than 3% a year. You could have bought a bond without all this volatility in that regard instead. And if you look at American Electric Power, the company is overvalued today. But if you look at it from a forecasting point of view, growing at 6.78%, you could lose money holding it for the next 2.5 years. And when you look at Eversource, which was also overvalued, but now has become fairly valued, you can make double-digit returns of over 14% a year with a 4.65% dividend yield versus investing in American Electric Power with a 3.3% dividend yield and the opportunity to lose money. Valuation matters, and valuation matters a lot, as I've often said. So the question is, why buy the overvalued stocks just because they're popular or have momentum when you can search a little bit and find good, fairly valued stocks? And this idea that overvalued stocks are going to stay overvalued is a really dangerous thing. So I'm going to end this video by going through a group of names that are very popular, and I'm going to show what happens to valuation when stocks are overvalued. Let's look at Novo Nordisk, a pharmaceutical company out of Denmark. Look how the market has put look what happens every time we get a high valuation. We can get extended periods of time of losing money. The earnings have been pretty stable in this company. If you take price off the graph, it's got a very good earnings record and a very good dividend record, so it's a good company, and we're not arguing that. But price is what you pay, value is what you get. Anytime you'd have bought this stock up in here, and this lasted for years now, where it was overvalued coming into COVID, it stayed overvalued through COVID, and for 2 or 3 years after that, and then all of a sudden the reversion to the mean happened. And look what we get from the high points to moderately low points. Investors would have lost 60% annualized, 59.47% annualized over this 1.5 year period. Let's look at some more examples of overvalued stocks. Here's a tech stock, Align Technology, and the market put these real high valuations, but I want you to know something else about highly valued stocks. Look how volatile they are. Investors are emotional creatures, aren't we? We oftentimes make decisions based on our emotions. As I've often said, earnings determine market price in the long run, but emotions determine market price in the short run. How does an investor stay into a stock that has this kind of volatility over just short periods of time? And then we did get a big earnings surge here, but then we had an earnings disappointment, and look how volatile. And here we are now. The stock is trading at a reasonable valuation, and now may be the time to look at this stock as a reasonable investment if you're interested in its technology. Okay, the next stock, another example of what I'm talking about, would be a more conservative stock like Ball Corporation. They make metal, glass, and plastic containers. And look how the companies attract its earnings. And then inexplicitly, and this is where where the market can be just so nonsensical at times, the earnings growth during up to this period of time was very consistent, and it just literally grew every year. Then we went to a period where earnings collapsed, but the price just kind of sort of went sideways and even rose a little bit as earnings were collapsing. So it didn't do much during, this period right here. You can see that it was a bad period of earnings, 2.5% rate of return. Then we got some decent earnings growth, and the market valued this thing crazy. And once again, look how volatile stocks get when they get overvalued. Then we had a bad year. It corrected precipitously. And again, these corrections are severe. And now it got overvalued again, got fairly valued, overvalued again. Now we're back to fair value. And it's a great company that has a very consistent record. Well, a moderately consistent record, but overvaluation ultimately reverts to the mean. Brown-Forman is an extremely high-quality company in the distillers and vintners. It sells whiskey and so on. And the market always put this premium valuation. I look at the normal PE on this stock. It's averaged about over a 25 multiple. Then it got really crazy. And then over the last 5 or 6 years, it was really nothing but valuation. Earnings growth kind of faltered. It didn't grow very much. Now notice they pay special dividends quite often. But once again, you have this period of time where the stock fell precipitously. And if you look at the last 4 or 5 years, you'd have hated the stock. You'd have lost over, 60% of your money, or over 50% of your money holding on to it. That's including dividends, I might add. But yet the business did okay. It didn't grow very fast. It even paid special dividends, but it was because you were paying more than the business was worth. If you let stock prices guide you as an investor, you're going to get in trouble. Same with Estee Lauder. Estee Lauder had a very good track record here of earnings growth. And let's use our sliding bar here in Fast Graphs, if I can grab it. And look at earnings growth was over 12% a year into 2021, which was a period when it really got highly valued. Okay, but we had 12% earnings growth. Just the only hiccup really was a little bit in COVID and a little bit of deterioration during the 2008, 2009. But look how overvalued the stock got. And then look what ultimately happened to the price, and then earnings fell. So we had overvaluation, which was very vulnerable to a disappointment. And of course, the disappointment here has been what I would only describe as catastrophic. You'd have turned $10,000 into $1,700, losing an annual loss of 38% a year if you would have held on to it over this period of time, which you probably wouldn't. Investors suffer the pain of loss 2.5 times more than they get the pleasure of gain. And then Novo Nordisk, which I talked about earlier, is another example. Look how we had these periods of high valuation, and high valuation almost inevitably leads to very poor investment results. But it doesn't necessarily correct itself in a week. But the point is, I trust fundamental value, the orange line on this graph, more than I trust the price action, which is the black line in the graph. And you can just see how insane the prices have been on these graphs as I go through them all, how volatile the stocks are, how the line zigzags as you look at these stocks, and how crazy. And keep in mind, these businesses aren't changing in value by that much every time. If you let price drive your investment decisions, you're inevitably going to get in trouble. But the real question is, why buy a slower growing company at a higher valuation when you can buy a company that's growing at even a faster level at a much better valuation? Valuation matters, and it matters a lot. So anyway, this has been Chuck Carnevale, co-founder of Fast Graphs. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you get some of the lessons here. When you're dealing in overvaluation stocks, you got to beware of being a genius in a bull market. When you got bull markets and the stock has momentum, it can run for a long time. But it's like playing musical chairs with your money. When the music stocks, you better have a chair. And the only chair that exists in stocks is the earnings, the fundamentals, the cash flows of the business. And if you're way above that, if your price is way above that, you got a long way to fall. But if a stock falls from being fairly valued to undervalued, you've got a real strong opportunity to get your money back very quickly. That would represent a time to be adding to the portfolio. But if you got a way overvalued stock, like some of the ones I showed in this video, and they drop, that's not a time to necessarily be buying more. Although it might not be a bad idea, actually, as long as the stock's in value at the time. Valuation matters, and it matters a lot. If you like this video, give me a like, ring the bell, and take a shot at Fast Graphs if you aren't a subscriber already. It can really help you avoid obvious mistakes, or at least it can help you invest with your eyes wide open. When you own overvalued stocks, Fast Graphs will reveal that. And then if you want to own them and you like them and you want to continue to do it, at least you're doing it with the knowledge that you're taking on risk that might not be prudent for you to take. But you're not going to be blindsided, because you should be aware of the fact that you're taking risk with your money. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, it's my pleasure. I look forward to showing you some new videos coming up here with a very similar theme. Thanks for watching.